Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to give you a breakdown and review of the film Never Let Go, starring Halle Berry. I should mention before we get going that it seems like this film is sort of a reimagining of a short film that was then made into a feature a couple of years ago that was called Tethered, though there are huge differences between the two. It's just the concept is very similar. Anyway, to get to the breakdown, as this movie starts, fraternal twins Nolan and Samuel live with their mama in a remote woodland area somewhere in British Columbia. The three of them have been tormented by an unseen entity that mama says caused an apocalyptic event 4 years ago, wiping out all of humanity. To protect themselves when venturing beyond their house, which has the power to protect them from the evil entity, they use a supply of very long ropes so that the entity will not catch them while they're venturing out for food, as Mama believes that one touch without the rope on is all it takes for one of them to be possessed, at which point the entity would find its way into the house and kill the other two of them. As the film goes on, we witness the family foraging for food, which, when a particularly harsh winter hits and regular food is scarce, ends up including tree bark. Ugh. For most of the movie, nobody sees this entity but Mama, which makes it seem like maybe she's just crazy. And indeed, one of the boys starts to question if everything she's told them their whole lives is true, or if she's nuts or just a liar. But after some tragic consequences occur for Mama, and indeed for a hiker who happens upon the cabin and encounters the boys, it becomes apparent that the entity is quite real. It possesses one of the boys and almost possesses the other, but he manages to destroy it, which frees his brother from its grip as they are rescued by first responders after the possessed brother had burned down the house, trying to kill the other brother, who only lived because he had hid under the floor of the house. So that's a very basic breakdown of the story of the film. There's a lot of other stuff that happens during the runtime that, continues to build the tension of what's going to happen to these characters. Food is getting scarce. Are they going to make it through the winter? Are we going to see one of them die because the rope comes loose? Is the entity real? Is Mama just crazy? So it does keep you engaged. The thing is that it kind of drags, like the whole, is it real? Is it not real? The day-to-day sort of, struggling through life on their own, it goes on a little too long. The film could have been punchier if they'd taken some of that out. But watching the dynamic between the two brothers and how they each relate differently to their mother, and ultimately seeing the conclusion where we learn that the entity was in fact real, and the boys only end up not succumbing to it because they're able to defeat it, or at least the one brother is. And what I thought about that is that, the whole thing was very M. Night Shyamalan. He had nothing to do with this movie, but if you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan films, which I'm, then you will, I think, enjoy this movie, and you will feel like that's what you're watching the whole time, an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Specifically, it's a lot like The Village. It's a similar kind of, thing where this one group of people is sequestered away from the rest of the world because the rest of the world is, gone, or in the case of The Village, dangerous. And in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, well, is that true? Just like when you're watching The Village. So it's very reminiscent of that specific film. It was very reminiscent of M. Night Shyamalan films in other ways, especially the way it ends, which, I've only given you the bare bones of. So I would say check this out. I really liked it. The two boys that play the sons are excellent in this movie. They're, you know, just young kids, but they both do a really good job of acting. I mean, they had to keep up with Halle Berry, and there's no one else in this movie, to speak of. So they're playing off of each other and her the whole time. That's it. And they do an excellent, excellent job. So it's just a good movie. I really liked it. But that's really it. I'm going to get out of here before I start repeating myself. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.